Max Cavalera hier bei Mosh Pit Passion im großen Interview. Wir reden über das Re-Recording zu Schizophrenia, welches jetzt demnächst erscheint, auch unter anderem auf Vinyl. Des Weiteren reden wir über die Pläne zum neuen Soulfly-Album, welches nächstes Jahr kommt und sich im Bereich Nu Metal wieder ansiedelt. Und natürlich gehen wir noch way back in time und reden über das Nebenprojekt von Dave Grohl, Probot, wo der liebe Max unter anderem drauf vertreten war, genauso wie auf dem Snot Klassiker Straight Up und vieles weitere. Also dranbleiben lohnt sich. Es geht direkt nach dem Intro los.
Mosh Pit Passion, you know, for the passion of music.
And yeah, I just want to start with a short memory because Ben and me, we met us last November on a concert, on a Cavalera concert in Cologne, and I told him that I'm running a magazine called Mosh Pit Passion, and if he's interested to be a part of our magazine, he was very into it. And it's crazy how Cavalera and your music influenced me, our magazine, and is bringing people together. So finally, we are all here and sharing these moments, stories, etc. And for this interview, we will talk, of course, about this one.
Awesome.
And a lot of more from this band, Soulfly.
All right.
And we got some hidden gems with this band, Killer Be Killed. We're going way back.
You got all the...
Yeah. This one, Probot, Snot, and
Yeah.
maybe
I
when
love that you have all on vinyl. That's great.
we love vinyl and this one. But before we go very deep, of course, we will talk about this one because there will be a new re-release from Igor and you coming out. Cavalera Schizophrenia after many years re-recording. And yeah, how do you feel about that? Going back in time and also to reinvent your music you wrote 40 years ago with, yeah, Schizophrenia.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great I think the idea was born to re-record the early works, the albums that we thought were songs were great, but recording was shit, you know, Scheißen. But we thought it'd be cool to do them in a way that you don't lose the dirtiness, aggression, brutality of the original. You just record them better with a better sound, so a better guitar sound, better drum sound, but with the same passion on the delivery. That's the key, I think, for these re-recordings, and it's what we want to maybe share with the new generation, you know, of fans. A lot of people that were not there when these albums were made, is to share that with them now, how we think they sound right now and how we want to experience that with them live. You know, we have this tour coming up, of course, Third World Trilogy European tour, and it's just a great moment, I think, in my career that I get to go back in time and feel very nostalgic about the beginning and play early stuff together with doing other stuff that's going to the future. But right now we are focused on a trilogy, and it's going to be great playing this stuff live. I can't wait.
I am, for example, 35. Ben is 17. He will become 18. He's already now 18, so very young. How do you feel about that? That young people like 18 coming to your concerts and also that they want the true old school thing. What are your feelings about that?
Well, first, let me ask Ben, how does he feel about these records?
Yeah, so I think your music is really, it's like raw music. And one thing that also really came to my mind when I listened to Escape the Void was that there was still this power, this pure power. It sounds like it's from this time. It's not like a new metal record which is overproduced. There is like no reverb on the voice. It's really, really good. And I just like the rawness that you have. Today you have a lot of generic music, but this is really, really good stuff.
Thank you. You know, it's cool to hear that from a guy like you, because you guys are the new generation, and I've been doing this for a long time, you know. And to me, one of the most fun, exciting things is actually getting new fans, you know, because, you know, as an artist, you need new fans so your music can continue to grow. And um, sometimes I feel very, it's similar to what I experienced with Black Sabbath, because when Black Sabbath came out, I was 1 year old. By the time I listened to Black Sabbath, they already finished. They were done playing together. But I got to see it with Ozzy. You know, I got to see Ozzy playing Black Sabbath songs, and it was a life-changing moment in my life. It was like experience something out of this world. And I feel this is kind of like what we get to do with these recordings with Igor, is show the new generation something really special of our era. But like you say, like it doesn't sound over polished, overproduced. It's still dirty, aggressive, heavy, raw, pissed off, you know. And that's cool, man. You know, I think that's because, you know, in the end of the day, true metal should feel like this. It's not True metal is not overproduced, is not polished, is not happy, you know. It's pissed off, angry, dirty, aggressive. And that's what we do, you know. So I'm very happy with this, pleased with these recordings. I think they're gonna turn out a lot of fans into it. A lot of people gonna like it.
How do you feel about when it comes to things like, for instance, social media? Because generating new fans is often like not like back in the days, like promoting music via on a radio, on television, or on printed magazine. Today is more like TikTok, for instance. And how do you feel about this, that bands becoming more or less like a social media manager, editor, band to also get attention because young people are using this media? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's cool in a way that I think you get to really share stuff with your fans in a special way that other people couldn't do it back in my day. You know, I couldn't do this on 30 years ago. And this is kind of like cool because it's like an instant live reaction. You know, sometimes I think Gloria does a lot of our social media, and she can be on the side of the stage filming and putting live on Instagram and live on Facebook. And you can be in Europe or you can be in Australia and you get to watch live, you know, like this is cool. We never had that in my day. I discover a lot of bands through Spotify and Bandcamp. You know, I also use social media myself. Um, so I think it's good, man. I think it's good. I think it's like it's the way of the future. You have to be on board with it. You can't fight it, you know. And we do just try to do as the things that we can do with that. So I think, like, you know, we are trying now. We have you know, my wife is doing now the Max Cavalera Instagram page, and we have Soulfly Tribe Instagram, we have Soulfly Facebook. All those things kind of are things that help the bands, you know. Like a lot of people are into this now. It's the like I say, I think it's the future, you know. Um, I think it's cool. You get to see live shit. You get to interact with your band members. Uh, yeah, it's kind of like it's wild, man. Internet is a wild thing. It's you know, it's crazy all this shit. And of course, without that, there's also a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of negative shit. People that go talk shit and you know bullying other people and which is that part of it is stupid, you know. But there's a lot of good. I think there's a lot of good stuff on social media for especially for bands to explore. You know, possibilities for promotion, interaction with the fans, creating new music. Like you say, like today, you really don't need radio and you don't need TV. You know, you have social media, it's all you need, and you can get popular with that, you know?
Yeah, at least something what is also positive and a positive side effect because of social media is like something which is coming up during the last couple of years is the whole new metal movement or genre. I mean, with Soulfly, the first couple of records, let me say the style was influenced by new metal, then new metal was completely done, and somehow over the last year is quite popular. I mean, you played on a known festival, Sick New World, a couple weeks ago. There are also many bands from that, let me call it, era, for instance. And yeah, somehow it's on the rise. And if I get it right, you told somewhere that the next record with Soulfly will go back to the earlier sound. That's right?
I think it's gonna be a combination because I think I really like the early Soulfly stuff because it was more tribal and more groove. And now because I have Cavalera and Go Ahead and I can be as heavy as I want with Cavalera. That it leaves me Soulfly to be something quite different. You know, I can mold Soulfly a bit different now, where Soulfly is really kind of like more of a groove oriented tribal band, you know. And I think that's really in a lot of people's perception that was the best of Soulfly was like that, you know. So it's not that I'm jumping on the bandwagon of new metal. It's not really that. It's just that I think that the early Soulfly has some kind of magic that through the years we kind of lost that magic, and I think we're trying to bring it back with this new record that is going to come out next year. I think it's going to be cool because it's also influenced by other stuff I'm listening to at the moment, like Kublai Khan and Jesus Peace and Knock to Lose, Judiciary. So there's really heavy breakdown grooves together with tribal drums. It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be a real cool album that I am very excited to create. And of course, also the fact that my mother passed away last year, I'm gonna make this album for her. It's in homage to her, you know. So it's going to be also a spiritual record for me because of that. So it's going to be a special record for sure. Definitely, like it's been a big many years since Totem. Totem was last record. I think we are inspired to create something special next year.
It's in,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
frag.
if you look back on the record, for example, Back to the Primitive, you work with a lot of different artists like Corey Taylor or even Sean Lennon. Um, did you play with any artists, or are there any artists you would like to make a song with?
That's a great question, man. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that I think would be cool to have as guests at the Soulfly record. All the way from classic people like Rob Halford or Bruce Dickinson to new guys like Steve from 200 Stab Wounds, or even somebody that like even like maybe even like Matt from Kublai Khan. That there's this possibility of bridging the new generation with some old classics, and maybe create a kind of primitive influence kind of record. I think Primitive was fantastic because of that, because it was a unique record. It was actually very, not musically, but the ideology of the album was inspired by a lot of jazz, how jazz musicians play with other people all the time. And I was thinking, like, it'd be cool to do a metal record with this kind of jazz idea, and maybe all the people that come in the record, you don't even prepare, you just kind of jam live. That's all the Primitive were all live jam sessions with Corey, with Tom Araya, with Sean Lennon. There was not much preparation. We went in the studio, press play, and went for it, like real jazz live improvisation. And that's quite crazy, like, to do that. It's a little bit mad, it's a little bit kind of like uncomfortable, but the result is actually quite good. I love Primitive. I think Primitive is one of my favorite kind of records because of that. I always gonna love the first album because it was very special, but Primitive is really next to the first one in terms of excitement.
It's interesting because we talked about people who were a part of your record, or maybe become in the future a part of your record, but you also were on a couple of records. And at the beginning, I showed a couple, for instance, on the Snot record. That's their second one, called Straight Up. You did a feature vocal on there. And do you remember that time, or the status of Snot and Straight Lynn when he passed away and the band came up to you and asked you, hey, do you want to be a part of that record?
Well, yeah, I mean, Mikey was playing guitar for Soulfly, so it was like Snot was Mikey's band, and it was cool. Mikey is a great guy, and we're still friends with him now. And it was like, I think Catch a Spirit is a quite unique song. It's quite really kind of spiritual, a bit on the same line of Head Up and maybe First Commandment or Pain, that was done with Chino from Deftones. Yeah, paying tribute to a friend that is no longer here, and those are powerful moments of music when you make tribute to a friend that's passed away, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I think Straight Up, it's a beautiful dedication record. Many great collaborators. You got, Korn, Head P, Seven Dust. It's a great collection of that time. System of a Down. You have all these great bands in this record, all these great musicians. Really, they say, nobody say, I'm too big to be part of this. They say, this is for a friend, so we're gonna do it, so no big rock star head trips going on, more like doing something for a friend. Same with like when I did Head Up with Deftones or Probot with Dave Grohl. It's like unique situation. Yeah, that was that was amazing. I still mad with Dave because it's a great idea, and I wish I had that idea. Uh,
Yeah,
you write the music and you have all your favorite singers sing on it. It's just a great idea.
yeah. I think also that record is somehow so underrated and yeah, but there are many good songs on there with Kronos, with you, of course. And I remember I saw Foo Fighters many years ago, and they played before the show started Red War, and I was like, "That's Max Cavalera, definitely his voice." But Red War, I never heard that song, and was typing it in on my phone because Shazam wasn't existing during that time, and then I found out Probot was somehow also a project by Dave Grohl, and I was like, wow, Dave Grohl did metal stuff. How crazy is that? And what I want to ask when it comes to Probot, um, how did you in contact and to work on that project back in the day?
Yeah, so Dave was always a fan. He was a big Sepultura fan. He used to come to see us when we played Seattle. He was there on the Arise tour. He was there right after Kurt Cobain died. And I knew he was a big fan. And we met a couple times. And then I had the chance to, uh, meet him in person in 1991, 1992. And we kind of became not friends but friendly. And came the idea, he had this idea, he sent me a CD with 5 songs, and I had to pick one, and I picked Red War because it reminds me of Territory. And I said to him, I said, this is more like my style. This is like kind of like Territory, tribal drums, and I loved it. And then, of course, I made my book years later, and I asked Dave Grohl to do the introduction for the book. He made a great introduction. You know, yeah, it's great. Dave is a great guy. He's a big personality, but he loves metal. And that's cool. It's cool to have people like that is on the spotlight and shines a light into the metal world. I think we need more of that.
Definitely, because our culture is, I don't want to say it's going more and more back, but I know in the US, for instance, is hip hop on the rise. 20 years ago, it was rock and metal. So there's a change. But see, also huge festivals are coming up, like Sick New World, for instance. Um,
Or later this year in San Francisco, Deftones and System of a Down. It's also a pretty big event.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we just did Sonic Temple in Ohio.
Oh,
It was like last weekend. It was great festival.
there's some
Soulfly.
there's something me and Ben figured out a couple minutes ago before the interview started. We will visit the same festival this year, the Graspop Metal Meeting. Maybe Ben want to ask something because we saw something on the billing.
Yeah, and one thing that came to my mind. So you play there with your brother, and Crosses with Chino Moreno plays also there. Are you open to join Crosses maybe for head up on stage, or do you think Chino would be open to join you for I think it was First Commandment, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know Chino's a huge fan of Chaos AD, and maybe we get him to come and sing like Propaganda, or or Slave in the World, or Territory. I know that he would love that. I know that they did I know that Gojira did Territory with Chino singing. It's on YouTube. You can check it. But I think that was really cool. Yeah, I mean, I did head up many times with Deftones. We did it last time in Australia 2 years ago. It's great. I love the relationship between Soulfly and Deftones is very special. It goes back to the beginning. The name Soulfly comes from head up, from the song on Deftones Around the Fur record, you know. So Soulfly was born from our friendship with the Deftones.
Talking about
I didn't even know that Crosses was playing in Graspop. That's really cool.
talking about the old times, you've been making music for about 40 years now, but you still have a really good voice, so you can still make music. Your voice is still as powerful as Wrath. How do you keep your voice intact? If you look at other musicians like, I don't know, Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth, he can't growl that good anymore. And yeah, how do you do this?
I don't know. It's good. It's a mystery to me. I just, it's inside of me, you know. It's like a primal thing. Like I never really learned how to sing. I just sing from the heart, just comes out like that, and I really love it. I love the power of it. You know, I love the one of the things I'm most proud of it is that the sound of my voice is it's original, you know.
Yeah, it really is.
Like the minute you hear it's that's Max, you know it's Max, you know, it's an instant recognition.
It's one of the things that when I'm talking to my friends to also listen to metal, like I'm talking about you, I'm a really big fan of you and all your side projects and your main projects, and I'm just telling them that your voice is really unique. You can hear it. You can also look at Kai, who when he was at the Foo Fighters concert, he heard your voice and knew it was you, even though he didn't knew you made a song with the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I think it's like that's something that I really think is when you have something original like that, it's kind of like it becomes a trademark. You know, it's your own special thing that you have. And I think I feel similar about my riffs as also. I think the riffs I create are real kind of Max kind of riffs. They're somewhat simple but effective. You know, they go right to the jugular. You know, it's like instant reaction riffs. And the thing with the voice, I think, is like it's of course changed through the years. I don't sound like I did when I was 18, 19. But it's like it's still powerful enough that I can continue, you know. It's which is cool, you know. I like that. I enjoy most of the thing I enjoy is sharing with the fans when we chant together. Either
I still remember my first concert when I saw you. It was Soulfly last year in Cologne, and I remember you coming on stage and just screaming "Un, dos, tres, cuatro," and it was so powerful. It was really, it sent shivers down my spine, and there was such a good vibe. Like you did this tour in smaller clubs to be closer with the fans, right?
Yeah,
and it really worked out. So this was an atmosphere I will never forget.
Was that with Mike DeLeon on guitar?
Yes, I still have his pick. I caught
okay,
one.
cool. Yeah, Mike is great, man. Mike has been playing with us now for a little bit, and he's just a great guy, and he's a really cool guitar player. I like a lot.
It's pretty funny that it's Mike DeLeon on guitar and Mike Leon on bass, right?
Yeah, we didn't do that on purpose. That's coincidence, man. But yeah, it's cool. I love the vibe. I love the Soulfly vibe. Like I said, I think this next record is gonna be huge for us. It's gonna be a big record for Soulfly. And like I'm happy I get to do both. I go to the future with Soulfly, and I get to experience the past with my brother, with Cavalera. You know, just do both at the same time is great.
Unfortunately, our time is running a little bit out, and I want to squeeze at least one question in between, because we talked about a little earlier when it comes to Soulfly and also the whole progression. And like you also mentioned before, that I'm showing here all kind of vinyl records, because of course I got the Soulfly box set, and I was wondering why Dark Ages on vinyl is not in this box. Will there be some kind of reissue on vinyl of Dark Ages, or is it a record where you say, it's not my favorite, keep this out, I don't want to reissue it?
No, I think we're gonna do the other also record. I think it's gonna be I think 4 more, and then another 4, because there are 12 records right now, you know, and those are the first 4, and then you have I think you have 4 more, and then the last 4, and then you know, eventually the 13 is the new one. It's come out next year. But yeah, I love Dark Ages. I think Dark Ages is a great record, man. It's a very, very powerful record.
That's good to hear, because it's one of my favorite, and I was like, oh no, please don't skip one of my favorite records of Soulfly.
Yeah, no,
That's good to hear.
we're not skipping that.
Maybe Ben, at least you got a question left.
So you said that you will you will bring out a new record next year. Will this also be connected with a tour?
Yeah. We hope to do a massive world tour for the next Soulfly. Play everywhere, play Europe, Australia, South America, and just continue, just keep playing. You know, that's what I'm here for. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you for the interview. You guys
Thank you very
rule.
much, Max. See you in summer in Bochum and on Graspop Metal Meeting.
All right. Danke schön.
Bye.
Danke.
Mosh pit passion, you know, for the passion of music.